It's been called the TMZ of Instagram, and with almost 28 million followers, it's easy to see why the Shade Room is one of the most prominent sites for celebrity, culture, and political news. But what makes this site so unique? Let's hear from the founder, Angie Nwandu.
When it comes to the Shade Room, people come to our site to interact with the audience. It's the community first. People come to laugh. They come to read the comments. They come to engage with people in the comments.
While struggling in her post-college life, Angie Nwandu stumbled upon her calling.
All I was doing was, consuming media. And one of my friends just, casually suggested that I start my own site. And it was a joke for her, but I took it seriously. It almost immediately started to go viral. We had 10,000 followers in a week and a half, 3,500 in 3 days. And it was really the audience that told me that the Shade Room was going to be something big.
The Shade Room may seem like an overnight success, but nothing is ever quite what it seems.
So I ended up in foster care when I was 6 years old. My father was an alcoholic and extremely abusive, and he murdered my mother, and he ended up in jail. At the point that happened, I didn't know people could die.
She's overcome the foster care system to become a media mogul and was even called the Oprah of our generation. Please welcome to the show, Angie Nwandu.
Yes.
Hey, Angie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, sis. Okay, first of all, I just want to congratulate you on all of your success, because the Shade Room, what people in mainstream media don't often recognize is how you are setting the taste-making, the template for how we are consuming digital media, and that's something to be commended, and I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you so much. You look beautiful, by the way. Love your hair.
Thank you. Okay, but before we get to the foster care system, because I'm a CASA myself, so I understand that this is really important, I have a question about the Shade Room, because I've been on it a couple times. Everybody on this panel has been on it at least once. So how do you decide who you're going to post and when?
Well, everything is run by the roommates. So one of our taglines is that we're run by our hilarious roommates. So we literally just moderate. That's our only job. Every morning, the roommates get up early. They know when we start, when we open, which is around 4 a.m. in the morning, Eastern time. And they just send all of the topics that they want covered. And basically all we do is vet the information, look through the information, see which posts they're recommending the most, and we curate the feed based on what they want to see. So it's really all about the audience.
Wow. Okay, well, thank you for clearing that up, because I have had a couple anxiety attacks. Like when I see like you in the Shade Room, my sister was called like, you're not supposed to be in the Shade Room. Like, okay. So let's circle back and talk about your childhood and growing up in foster care. Tell us about your experience with that.
Yes, well, I lost my mother when I was 6 years old at the hands of my father to a domestic violence incident. And after that, we were placed in foster care. And I spent 12 years in foster care. And it was a very challenging time. We moved from home to home a lot. And, there wasn't much stability. But I look back on my experience and I just look back at the positive. There was so much that I was able to learn in foster care. Like I learned how to deal with adversity. I learned how to adapt to different households and different personalities. So I became highly adaptable. I was exposed to different cultures and different schools. And so I just like to look back and see all of the positive that I gained, resilience from foster care, even though there were some hard times that I experienced.
I'm listening to your story and just what you said. I was taken back by your first answer when you said you let the roommates kind of decide. And I wonder if that's some of you being able to acclimate and deal with different voices, all coming from different directions, and figure out a direction that eventually led you to 28 million followers and one of the hottest sites ever. Just a thought I have. But congrats to your success. I want to stay looking back for a second and ask you, is there anything that you would tell your younger self now?
Yes, I mean, back in the day, especially when I had just graduated from college, I graduated with a 2.8 GPA, and I couldn't get into any grad schools. I couldn't get into business school, law school. I tried it all, but, you know, I just couldn't, like, score high on those tests. So I spent a long time just really worried about my future and if I could ever make it, and just really kind of talking terribly to myself. And so even though I found my way, I spent too much of my life worrying and just feeling like my life wouldn't turn out great because I had already experienced so much trauma and so, you know, and so much adversity in the past. So what I would tell myself is to just have faith in the future and understand that everything will work out, and not to spend so much time worrying, because, you know, there's a beautiful scripture that says, who can add an hour to their life by worrying? You can't. And so I would just tell her to just trust that she has what it takes to get to where she wants to be, and that life is going to work itself out, and not to keep searching for this next destination or this success, because the journey is really one of the most beautiful parts about life, you know.
Amen.
And so
that's beautiful, and you can tell that little girl it worked out great.
Yeah.
Much success, much success. So we only have like 30 seconds left, Angie. I just want to get this in. You recently started a collab with the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yes.
What impact have books and reading had on you, and did that actually help shape the Shade Room?
Absolutely. Reading was one of my favorite hobbies. It was a way for me to just get into this imaginary world and to kind of escape from my reality at the time. And not only that, it helped me to become a better writer. And so I literally learned how to write by reading. And then I learned how to tell people stories and my own story by reading other people's stories. And so reading was such a valuable part of my life that I wanted to partner with Scholastic. Back in the day, I couldn't afford a book to buy a book at Scholastic Book Fairs. So we were able to, you know, help 3 schools get free books, 800 free books. Each student gets 3 free books. And I went there yesterday, and it was so amazing. The kids were so excited to read the books. And so it was such a wonderful moment. It's happening between March 6th. It started March 6th and it's ending March 10th. And so we're just excited to bring these free books to
Good for you. That's incredible. Angie, thank you for sharing your story.
Amazing.
TBL Nation, make sure to follow the Shade Room both online and on Instagram. And to find out more about the Scholastic Book Fair, please visit bookfairs.scholastic.com. Thanks again, Angie. We'll be right back.
Thanks,
Thank you.
And keep us off that site.